Welcome to Board Game Homies, where a group of friends play, review, and share about all things board games. Sitting around the table today are
Reed, Becky,
Gillian.
And I am Angela. Today we'll be discussing our favorite games published in 2024. AKA, I know the year is 2025, but do you have any idea how many games are published each year? It's a lot, and I have to work, and I have to keep my dog in a lifestyle that he's grown accustomed to. But anyway, let's get to the list. There are some notable games that we haven't played. Of the thousands that were released, we played a grand total of anywhere from 30 to 39 games for all of us, the most being played by Becky. Becky, why did you play the most games out of all of us published in 2024?
I think it's because I get to play two-player games with Gillian, and then I also play two-player games with you, and you two buy the most games, so it just kind of works out that I get to play a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and somehow Reed is left out of all of this.
Reed needs to buy more games.
Oh no, Reed, absolutely not.
I'm shaking my head. No, I don't. I get to play your games.
But not the 2024 ones.
Now, there are some notable games that we did not play in 2024 in case you played them and you wonder why they're not on our list. Those include Slay the Spire, Unconscious Mind, Bomb Busters, the new award winner, Rock Hard 1977, Civolution, Shackleton Base, Primal the Awakening, Black Forest, Tales of Arthurian Knights, Galileo Galilei. Guys, what are some games that we didn't play published in 2024 that you still are excited to get played?
Hold on, I want to correct that list because Becky and I played Slay the Spire, so
I also thought you played Civolution.
No, I wish I had played Civolution.
you had multiple chances.
I forgot that we played Slay the Spire, actually.
Yeah.
I've played the digital game so often, it's ruining my life. So
It's
that
ruining
counts.
all of our lives, Angela.
Those of us that play Board Game Arena are waiting for Angela to take her many turns.
Angela's been better, thank you.
I've been waiting for Gillian to take his turn for 2 months now.
I'm not even on Board Game Arena.
I know, that's why it's funny.
What was the question again?
Damn it. What games?
We need to keep that in there.
Absolutely not. What games from 2024 do you still want to play that you haven't played yet?
Becky and I own a few games from 2024 that we just haven't gotten to the table yet. Some of them are recent purchases from yours truly, and those include a couple of the big ones that Angela had mentioned. So Andromeda's Edge, Tales of Arthurian Knights, Galileo Galilei. Those are kind of the big three that are on top of my mind, essentially. There are a couple others, but yeah. Becky?
I really want to play Joyride, Ironwood, and Tales of Arthurian Knights, and I think it's those three games because they're on our shelf, and I've actually looked at them and seen inside the box and gotten excited about them.
I also, speaking of excitement of games that Gillian will buy, is the game a lot of folks had mentioned, which is Phoenix New Horizons, which I really want him to buy so that I can play it and then not have to buy it.
Well, that one's on pre-order, I'll have you know. So I'm just waiting for, I think, the end of July is when that's going to come out.
It's like dreams do come true.
They do. I was going to say, no, Angela, you buy it.
I've already bought it.
That would just be your dream, Becky.
Notably, like some of the games that Angela had mentioned that we haven't played yet are ones that aren't available in the U.S. yet or were very delayed in getting to the U.S. So Phoenix New Horizon and also Shackleton Base, while they were published in 2024, they weren't distributed to the U.S. at that point. And so Shackleton Base, as of recording this, really just came into stock in the U.S. in early July, and Phoenix New Horizon is late, projected to be late July, August sometime. So that accounts for two of them at least.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we're doing published games middle of the year is because we're about to hit the season of games for 2025. So you have all of these conventions where they start ramping up to announce new games that are coming out, and then Essen kind of happens. And then folks who are in the biz get to play these games. Us normal folks don't get to until like 6 months later after they've technically been published. And so it takes us a while. So I think what you'll continue to see is our favorite plays of the year, which includes old games and new games at the start of the 2026 year and things like this, where we need to take a little bit more time to evaluate games coming in the middle of a year, which feels a little dated, but for board games feels kind of like right on time.
Well, and even this episode, Gillian especially was vocal about not feeling ready to record it because we have such a list of the big games that we haven't played yet. But it just feels like if we wait, it's never going to happen, or it's going to be 2027 and we're talking about the 2024 games.
Yeah, some of the games I want to play that are still on that list, like Civolution that we mentioned, is one of the bigger games, and I'm just waiting to find a game meetup where somebody has it. Gotta try and convince some folks to let me play.
Okay, wait.
Oh, what? Gillian owns it? Yeah, but it's at the bottom of his queue. Like, when are we ever
No,
gonna
no,
play
no. You're the one that was like, "Oh, Civolution seems like a lot. I don't want to learn that right now," and so we didn't play it. Like when we suggested it.
I don't remember that conversation. Also, did you buy courtesans? Because that was
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny helped buy courtesans.
there
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
true. The Easter Bunny. did
Thank you,
help.
Easter Bunny.
Yep.
Yay.
The other game on my list is Loot, which did not win Spieliardis. Gillian, you can correct me. It ended up losing out to Endeavor Deep Sea this year. So
That's the Kennerspiel.
the Kennerspiel.
I was going to say losing, but then that was kind of mean, so.
That is wow.
I know. I'm
Wow,
sorry.
Reed.
Oh,
No, Reed, I think you should own it.
Probably not,
I'm
though.
sorry. Now it's awkward. You all already said your games too, and I'm like, do I still go? I will go. Seconding Becky, Ironwood. I would really like to play that, which is a 2-player game, right?
Yep.
So that's a little bit harder to get to the table for us when we tend to play 4-player games. Joyride, love a race game. Very excited about that. And then I also had Inventions by Vital Lacerda on my list, but yeah, we haven't really talked too much about that.
It's funny how many of these games are in our collective collections that we just haven't gotten to the table. So we may have updates and things that come, and so maybe this list will be a little more variable once we've played some of those published in 2024 releases. But to get to what is our top 10 list, if this is your first time listening, how we kind of do this is Becky, Gillian, Reed all submit to me their list in secret. This time we did a top 10. Then I assign those points in reverse order. So your 10th ranked game gets 10 points. Your 9th ranked game gets, your first ranked game gets 10, then 9, then 8, then 7. I add up all of those points across all of our games, and then that gets us to kind of a communal homies top 10 of what we think. This list was a delight to put together. First, because Reed submitted it 8 times, and so I had to do the math a lot. But second, I think the list is going to be really interesting and illuminating about where we are as gamers right now. Number 10. It made 2 lists, got 7 points. That game is Mlem.
I love Mlem, and I want to play it more.
We played Mlem, way in early 2024. So when we were looking at the list of 2024 games, I was pleased to see it crop up because I thought that was a 2023 game.
It's just so fun and so silly, and the artwork, which originally when I saw the box, I was kind of horrified, and I was like, Angela, why'd you buy this game, and why are you saying it's cute? But I because you did say it was cute, and I was like, oh no. But I actually really love the artwork and like the way that the planets are done. But it's just a really silly push your luck game, and I made it to the stars once, or whatever,
The
galaxy, and I just refuse to stop trying to make it, and I do horribly in this game, but I think it's a ton of fun.
I play Mlem all the time, so I feel very bad that I didn't partake in this. It was not on my list, but I think that that's because it's overplayed in my life. I play a lot with kids. I've actually been playing it with family members who have then gone on to buy it. Everybody loves a macrame planet. So I will definitely play with you, but it's not one that I would say I regularly want to play because I already get that out. And playing with kids, sometimes you have to be the champion, and the rule, it's probably how Gillian feels playing with me. No, you can't do that. No, you got to go back, that kind of thing. Who wants to get off of this planet? So I have to be the cheerleader and the regulator at the same time.
Yeah, I figured that's why it hadn't made your list, is because you do play it so often. It's certainly a game where you need to go into the mindset of, like, you are not doing a lot of serious strategy work. You are being silly. It's push your luck. I mean, I almost go into every game being like, how bad can I lose? And it's even more fun. But taking new players along for the ride, literally on a spaceship, where you just keep being like, will we get it? No. Then we all explode. And
Cats always land on their feet. You just have to remember that. We don't really explode.
Well, not unless you explode in the the rocket.
What? The rules say cats always land on their feet. I actually don't know if that's true, but
Yeah, and even though I was pleased that Mlem was a 2024 game, it didn't actually make my list. I very much considered it, but there were other games that ratcheted above Mlem. But I do enjoy it. It's one of the few push your luck games that I actually really enjoy.
Well, coming in at number 9, again, only on 2 lists. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a tie. So I broke the tiebreaker between 9 and 8 in that 9 was on 2 people's lists, but 8 was on 3 people's lists, but they still scored the same amount. Number 9, Compile Main number 1. Thanks to Becky and Gillian lists.
Yeah, two player strong here. It's a lane battler that came out obviously in 2024, but it really took me by storm. I haven't played it a ton, honestly, but I know Becky's gotten a lot of plays in between, playing with all 3 of us, really. And it's a very fun lane battler, a little chaotic, but you essentially take 3 different elements or 3 different, for lack of a better word, factions, essentially. It can be metal, it can be air, it can be love, for instance. And you smash those decks together and you use those to try to compile the AI or the regions, the 3 regions in the play area. And so whoever's the first to do that wins. But it gets pretty chaotic because when you play a card, it could mess with the other player and vice versa. So, but I really enjoy it.
For a 2-player game, I really like the variability from all the different. I thought I was going to remember the name of what they were called that you were stumbling over, but it didn't come. But the different factions, all of them have the different mechanics that they focus on. And so I like that you can tailor a deck to kind of do what you want it to do, or just try and make sure you have a little bit of everything, or go heavy into deleting cards. You can make the other person mad, or make your wife mad if you're Gillian. But and all the cards are shiny, and I am a sucker for shiny things, as you all know. So
like
that helps too. Yeah.
Like a turkey.
No, they don't like shiny things.
Becky and I played Compile recently, and while it wasn't in my top 10, it was very close after that. I actually sent Angela my top 14, and it was within that list. I think it was number 13. And it didn't move forward because I'd only played it that once, but I fell in love with it. That was my first lane battler that I had played, and it was really interesting to have that relationship with someone and their cards as you're playing. And one of the things that I absolutely loved is that when you uncover a card, it reactivates. I think you might have said that, and if you didn't, I zoned out. But it is really fun to be able to have that like dynamic of, do I know what's underneath of my cards, and kind of trying to remember that as well.
Yeah, super solid game. I loved it a lot. I think if you're going to have a 2-player battler game, this would be a great one to add. And I think Compile number 2, the company, whoever saw it, was kind of in the ether of not existing anymore, but the game has recently been picked up and hopefully on the way at some point to Gillian's house.
Yeah.
Showing up on 3 people's lists, Sears catalog.
Yeah, okay. Who was it that didn't put it on their list?
Becky?
It was me, but that was a really hard decision for me. I had to put all the games that I played from 2024 in a pub meeple, and whenever Sears catalog came up, I was like, oh, I don't know. I can't choose. It was hard. I really liked that game, and I think it could be in my top 10, even though it was not.
I agree. I had a really hard time. I think my top 5 came really easily to me, but really 6 through 10 was this variable list of things I could have put on. Like at one point, Ashton came into the room and said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I don't know which one to pick. And I was just staring at them because I think 6 through maybe 14 were really great games. And Sears Catalog did squeak in, but I also think it speaks to the number of trick takers we played. And so I was sitting there comparing all of the different trick takers and how do you compare that to a slightly heavier game or a lighter game. And I went to bed very late, only in part because Reed kept sending me new lists. But it was a really hard choice.
I struggled with, as the list may reveal, I did struggle a bit with trick takers because there were a lot of bigger games that I really liked in this 2024 year. But I also liked a lot of trick takers that came out. But those are like 15, 20-minute plays, whereas some of the bigger games are, more investments. And so trying to balance that was interesting for me. But Sears Catalog, I think, is, if not my favorite, it's very close to my favorite shedding game. Like, it is just the balance of trying to shed, but not fully. So you have a card left is just a very interesting take on it, and I enjoyed it. My caveat with that is I felt like it was a little overwhelming just how many of those cards are in there that basically change from game to game. I don't remember what they're
The
called.
artifact cards.
The catalog cards essentially. And those were a bit overwhelming, and I did recently thankfully manage to get of what's left, which is the original version of Sears Catalog, which only has 4. And sure, you could play Sears Catalog with just 4 as well, but I think that might be more manageable for my mind. It was a little break in the game of Sears Catalog having to look up what does this thing do every game.
Yeah, definitely dipping the toes into a no pass trick taker as well, which would symbol the end of the game. I really liked that variable ending. Because usually in a shedding game, you're out of cards. That's how the game ends. Somebody goes out first. But this one was a little bit different. And so I think it brought enough variability that it made it. Ties might be the theme of this list because guess what? We are very close to having another one, but it just eked out for number 7. It is on 2 different lists. Captain Flip.
Captain Flip was very close to my top 10. It was like, I think it came out as number 10 and then I swapped it. And how I'm struggling right now is how I struggled when I was thinking about Captain Flip. I think it's an amazing game and I already want more maps, and I feel like we consumed it very heavily. And so now I just like kind of want more from it before playing more, I guess. But with this one, I was starting to think about like, oh, should this top 10 be my top 10 or like the top 10 games that I think are, or wait, sorry, that was weird. Or is it the top 10 games of the year, period? Not just like what I personally think for myself, and more of what are the 10 best games.
Oh, I definitely did a personal list.
I mean, I did too, but when I was thinking about Captain Flip, I was like, but this is a really good game, and I feel like it should be in a top 10, but it's maybe not in mine right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not on my top 10 list either. Becky and I talked about it yesterday, and I don't think this is a question that we posed for this episode, but Becky and I both thought this for us was the biggest flash in the pants game.
Yes.
What? So I actually have a very interesting relationship with putting Captain Flip in my top 10, and that when I did a ranking on some website that you gave to me, but it was a ranking of all the games that we played, and Captain Flip was initially about 20. And then when I did one of my rearrangings, I thought, actually, I love this game. It needs to be in the top 10. And so it was a last minute ad for me. Sorry, Angela.
No, it was in my top 5, to be honest with you. And I really had to be balanced with games we had played very hard at the beginning of the year that then kind of, because we had played it so much. But this game now lives like rent-free in my head. If somebody proposes a game on BGA, I'm in. It's so easy to be like, flip, go. Oh, this is very fun. It's a theme that I see within my own list this year is I'm really enjoying push your luck games, finding like the simplicity in something of, do you take a tile, flip the tile? No, flip the tile. And I blow myself up all the time. So it's a game I can't take too seriously. But so I was kind of surprised it didn't make everybody's at least number 10.
You also really do blow yourself up a lot in that game. I think I've only blown up maybe once in that game.
You're not trying hard enough, Reed.
I know. To quote Becky, there is something that is absolutely juicy about that moment when you decide whether or not to flip. And that is what pushed it into my top 10, thinking about that juicy moment of, do I do it? Do I not? What risk am I taking? What is on the board? Is this a bad idea? And that is definitely what I love about that game.
And I will say, just like, I do like the game a lot. It's not a game that I dislike at all at this point. It's just, it reminded me of just, I would say, Ark Nova in a way, where you played it so heavily at the start that I felt like it lost its luster. Like Reed said about, which game was it that you'd played a lot?
Oh, Terraforming Mars?
No,
Mlem.
Mlam. Because you played it a lot, so it didn't end up in your top 10.
Yeah,
and so that's
yeah.
kind of how I felt about Captain Flip, though I don't think I played it nearly as much as you all. But I felt the same about Captain Flip as you did about Mlem. I just felt like enough plays that it lost its luster a bit.
Also, that just gave me a moment to say that I don't love Terraforming Mars anymore. So
Aw.
I was like,
Way to sneak
I know, it
that
just
in.
came out. But yes.
Really got to process those feelings.
Then Reed, what's your top game from 2016? I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
So I mentioned ties, very close, which thankfully didn't become a tie, was number 7, but 5 and 6 definitely tied. So I'm going to give us number 6, but it also could have been number 5. I'm just picking one to be 6 and one to be 5. So they're interchangeable, please know that. Only scoring 2 points ahead of the number 7. Appearing on 2 lists was The Gang.
I'm going to guess Reed and Gillian.
Yep. We're the gang.
Yep.
You guys just don't like poker. You don't
No,
understand poker.
Becky struggled with poker.
Yeah, it's not a game that I ever really played, and so I didn't really know. Like, you guys were all like, oh, well, obviously this and this and this beat that. And I'm like, okay, well, sure. No, Becky, you don't count those cards. It's lower than that card. And I'm like, okay. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, cooperative poker. I do know how to play poker. That's not why it didn't make my list. I think it was this aspect of, I think we've beaten the game and you can rank up the difficulties, but unlike something like Rebel Princess or Hearts, I kind of didn't want to play it for 6 hours. And that's kind of what I wanted from the game, or kind of what the game insinuates the fun that you can have with it, is a cooperative time where you're just all throwing cards in and playing poker. It didn't give me necessarily the depth of strategy, and maybe because it's a cooperative game, that I wanted from it. So it was much lower down on my list, especially when I was trying to rank where small box card games went. It just kept falling for me.
So what do you mean? Like you said something like a 6-hour game?
Yeah, I think poker is something that you can just sit around a table and play with people for a bunch. I think the same thing about Hearts. And so I want that from a poker game, but I felt like either we had beaten it too quickly or we needed to rank up, that you need to keep playing it to kind of find that sweet spot of difficulty. And I was like, okay, great, we did it. High five. When are we playing Hearts?
Well, that's fascinating because this is a poker game that has a finite end to it. And I would have continued to play it a number of times. I absolutely love it. I love poker. This is a way to play poker where you're not gambling or sad and depressed that you're out of money, or you could play it. I think it's a good family game. Like you can teach kids how to play poker without having them lose their allowance, unless you want to take it from them.
Yeah, and I will say I don't know if it's just because we played games a lot together, but it did feel like we were on the same page a lot during that game, which made it much easier than I think it might have been. So that could have played into it as well. But we only lost, I think, 1 game of the 6 we played. So we were on a roll. And that was even including the difficulty spikes that we would get from the cards and whatnot. So yeah, we won a lot.
Well, also the difficulty of Becky not understanding when she had something really good in her hand or something awful.
So what you're saying is we overcame Becky's.
Yes, pretty much. And it was usually Reed saying, "No, you don't want that chip, Becky."
I mean, she didn't know.
Well, she knew. Yeah.
She knew. You're not very good
She can
at
read
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would not be good at poker.
I feel like she just knew the odds. She was like, okay, well, I know what I have and I know what the flipped cards are. So, Becky, you obviously have a pair of queens.
Yeah, it'd be funny to play with the three of us without Reed. I feel like Reed elevated all of us, and so
It's true.
we
And
might
always
just
had the best
tank.
cards.
Yeah, we might just tank otherwise.
Oh, yeah. And I think I was absolutely not surprised to see this on the list for how much it resonated. I think definitely with Reed and with Gillian, just in the enjoyment and how much Reed loves card games. I was like, oh, yeah, this is not a surprise on our list.
It does have a shiny box, Becky.
Okay, I do really like the shiny box, but the cards aren't shiny.
Would you rather have shiny cards or like a $20 game?
Shiny cards.
Shiny
Oh.
cards.
A 10 out of
absolutely.
10 every
Yeah,
time.
Upgrade it.
Wow.
That's how somebody gets Becky in the van.
Wow. Okay, Becky, I'll buy like a souped up luxury card deck for the game. So there you go.
I mean, the cards actually.
Oh, look at
are-
Becky. She was like, oh, would I like it better then?
Yeah, probably.
The cards are not spectacular. I was like, you could upgrade that deck.
Yeah.
Tied with the gang. So again, this could be 5, this could be 6. Depends on which way the wind is blowing. As long as that wind isn't full of toxins and gas polluting our world. The next one, appearing on 2 lists, Daybreak.
Ew.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm just
Wow,
joking.
that
I'm
was
joking.
a yuck of a yum. Me
Only
and
2
Becky.
lists?
Yeah.
Only 2 lists.
Wow.
But it was high on my list. It
I'm
was
surprised
number
it
2.
wasn't on Angela's list.
It wasn't. I had a hard time, and I think it could have used more plays. I think it's definitely in my top 15. I really enjoyed this game. I was actually kind of bummed that Gillian didn't enjoy it as much in our board game homie beach trip, but I really like this game. We played a lot. It felt like cooperative games from 2024, and so I wish it was there. I love the theme. I love trying to save the world. I love how hard the game is and how much we suck at it, and how good it felt when we finally beat it.
I do have to say, I need to give this game another chance because the first 2 plays I had of it, first off, we played it wrong. We got rules wrong. Angela said, no, we just keep the hazard cards in play, yada, yada, yada.
It's more
And
like the
so-
real world, Gillian.
And secondly, the second game, I think I was starting to feel unwell. And so I was ready to go to bed. And so that was, that definitely colored my plays. And so I would like to give it another shot to see if I enjoy it more.
This game is my favorite solo game. And the reason why it's my favorite solo game is that the game plays almost exactly how you would play it with other people, but just by yourself. So there's no bot. You just have a certain set of starting cards and parameters. You can go a more difficult game. You can go an easier game. And I really, really enjoy that. And it is currently my top solo game.
Reed, this was also a ranking point. These 2 being tied is you sent me your final last version, for which I said, are you sure this is your final version? And you said yes. Because you ranked Daybreak number 2 and the gang number 3 on your personal list, it caused them to tie at this point. So I do blame that and not having a tiebreaker on you. But that brings me to number 4, appearing on 2 lists, but fairly high on those 2 lists. Coming in with 14 points was Snipe the Teen, aka Trick and Snipers.
That was definitely on Becky's list.
That was my number 2.
Oh, wow.
I really love that game. And this is the point where I started to feel like, wow, there are a lot of small, light games on my top 10 list. I think in the world with everything that's going on, all these lighter games have felt very joyful when we play them. And it's just been nice to have those moments, to be laughing over Reed flipping a card the wrong way, or which is not why it's in my top 10, but and also obsessing over the gold foil on these cards, which also my number 1 has gold foil on the cards too.
Spoilers.
A lot of shiny things going on there. But I agree. When I had to, again, me staring at my list and trying to pick the best trick taker I had played, I thought about, again, what I really love about Mob Plus is their games aren't meant to take you 45 minutes, right? And this was something for me when I was debating whether or not fishing was going to make my list or not, was one where I was like, fishing takes a really long time. Like, it's a longer game. And I really like the fact that Trick and Snipers, you could play in 10 minutes. You only score 2 points. The sevens are shiny. I'm finding that I really love the games, whether they're stellar or they're just really interesting, that Mob Plus is releasing. And so I was really happy that Trick and Snipers, I kind of was like, I think I'm down for this game.
Where did it rank on your list?
Number 6.
I should have been number 7. I enjoyed Trick and Snipers when we played it. I played it with Angela and Reed at a brewery, and we played several games of it, and I enjoyed it. I didn't think I got as much exposure to it maybe as the rest of you all, so maybe I'd like it a little bit more after more plays.
I thought that the cards were beautiful. Absolutely loved it. I don't know if it was somebody's joy game at one point or if we've just talked about it a lot, but the play for me isn't as strong as I think some of the other ones. It has a very peculiar strategy to it, and I have not figured it out. It's not clicking for me, but I like it.
I love watching you not be able to figure it out. That actually also brings me joy. So it's like, Reed, you should also be on the list of, like, I just enjoy watching you play new trick takers and be very particular about the cards.
But I did win the last 2 games that we played, so.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't mean you're not good at it. You fall into a win every once in a while.
Wow.
Sick burn.
Maybe
Snipe 13.
Like the team.
maybe we can play after we're done recording.
Wait, do you have it?
Angela got it for me for my birthday.
Oh, that's
Heck yeah. I overpaid eBay prices before they restocked on Tanuki and Tricky Imports.
Well,
That's
Trick
love.
Imports is out of stock now. So,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh golly. There was a really clear definition for 1 through 3. We had a lot of ties in 4 through 10, lots of clumping up, very small numbers, and they appeared on a lot of people's to lists. So it was like Becky and Reed and Gillian. The top 3 is where we started to see a little more variation. So coming in at number 3, the top choice on 2 people's list, excelling it to number 3 with 20 points. Castle Combo.
And that describes the feeling around the table. A few very excited, and then there's Gillian.
I totally understand why it's in 2 top 10 lists. Not just like your 2 top 10. That sounded
Yeah, it sounded
rude.
rude. It was our top game of our
It was
top
literally
10.
Okay.
number one.
Number 1, Becky.
No, and I can totally understand why it is. It's just not for me, but it's not a number 1 for me, or in a top 10. I guess it wasn't on my list. Obviously.
Or
Let
top
me just
20,
keep
30.
digging this grave right now.
You are uninvited to my BGA games of
No.
Castle Combo.
Wait, I'll still play. Anyways, I can totally see why it's a top 10 game. It's great, and you can take it anywhere, and you get to build a tableau, and you're trying to play off of the different abilities. There are keys and coins, not shiny, but it's a good game.
Yeah, I think my struggle with the game is, I mean, it's the case with any deck or any game that has a large deck, but it felt like the I think I played it twice. Both games, the people I played with, there was one person that always lucked into a card after somebody had drawn a card. There was a card that cropped up that worked perfectly for their strategy, and then it was just a snowball, and there's no way for the other 2 or 3 players to even compete. And so that I struggled with that aspect of the game.
Yeah, very fair of the game. I think the thing that I don't care about the luck scenario is that I don't take the game very seriously. And I think that's another thing I reflected upon my list. There weren't a lot of games that I took very seriously, maybe hearkening back to what Becky said about what the year's been like, and I think what the world is like right now. But Castle Combo was just a delightful, quick tableau builder that builds on other cards. And if I lose, kind of like Captain Flip, all right, I'll just start another game. And I'll probably just start another game with Reed.
I will play that game anytime.
Absolutely. Only being separated by a single point One of the very rare games on our list to be on 3 different lists, but as nobody's number 1. Lord of the Rings, Duel for Middle-earth, coming in at number 2.
Oh, yeah. I love this game. Becky and I loved Seven Wonders Duel. And when they announced Lord of the Rings smashed with Seven Wonders Duel, I was on board immediately. And I was a little tentative at first, or a little hesitant at first with playing this game versus Seven Wonders Duel and my enjoyment of one versus the other. But recently, for Becky's birthday, we had a Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth mini tournament. And I feel like that experience and the joy I got out of those games I played made it leap over Seven Wonders Duel for me. And I do love this game a lot.
I am not a nerd, and I do not know a lot about Lord of the Rings, but I really like the gameplay of this, and I do like that it is thematic. You're chasing the ring, or you're chasing the person chasing the ring. It's really fun. I like it.
It didn't make your list.
It didn't. And actually, I don't think that there was a single game on our top 10, which we'll discuss momentarily, that was on everybody's list.
Oh, we can't ruin it, Reed. Wait till
Okay.
number 1 happens.
Wait, but didn't you just say that this is one of the rare ones that was
No,
on all
I
3?
yeah.
You
I mean,
guys can't have
cut all this.
spoilers
I know,
for
I'm
number
like,
1.
Wait, no, but didn't you
Not
say
at
that?
all.
Wait, Becky, just wait. Just
You
wait and
gotta-
I
see.
can't wait.
You guys,
I'm so
we
excited.
do not discount how good Lord of the Rings is because you just want to get to number 1.
Okay, no, I won't.
Becky.
But you were.
Becky, what made
Becky.
you choose this as your birthday event?
Because she wanted to give away a ring.
No, the prize, which was the Lord of the Rings card game, like the crew,
Trick-taking
the
game.
the trick-taking game, which is also shiny.
Yep.
You might have a problem, Becky.
Oh no,
But we don't own it, so.
that's true. Yet, but you were supposed to win it, Gillian.
Oh, wow.
No
Wow.
pressure.
Congratulations to Nathan for taking home the prize.
Which he had only played that game once prior to the tournament, which is awesome. He's played a lot of Seven Wonders Duel, but I chose that game because I thought it would be a really great like duel game to do in a competition or a tournament, and also we all had a copy of it so that we had enough and we didn't have to buy anything. But it's a really great game. Like Seven Wonders Duel is amazing, and they just took it and made it more streamlined and I think more approachable to people kind of more newer to games or medium gamers. So I think it's a great game.
Now,
Yeah.
this came in mid on your list, but I think you have stated you do prefer Seven Wonders Duel to Lord of the Rings Duel. Has that changed at all for you?
Why are you asking me the hard questions?
Basically, because we're in a game of Seven Wonders Duel right now, and you have beaten me the last 9 games we've played.
I think Seven Wonders Duel is still a better game overall. But I was obsessed with Seven Wonders. Like that was definitely one of my all-time favorite games. And so the Seven Wonders Duel made it new and exciting. And so I think I still ride that.
So it's nostalgia.
Yeah, also we use nice metal coins for Seven Wonders Duel, but
We
not.
can buy nice metal coins for Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, Becky. Like, you can buy that for me for my birthday, just saying.
You could put dragon coins. Those
You-
seem
No,
to work.
no.
You could also just use iron clays.
No.
Oh, no. That's not
Boo.
thematic. That's not
Boo.
thematic. I mean, we do have coins we could use for
No, we
sure.
don't. You need to buy those ones from, what is it? Tinkertown?
Yeah, you need One Ring coins. That
Yeah.
feels appropriate.
Yeah.
Also, Becky, I'm playing an online game of Seven Wonders with some people, some of our listeners. So shout out to Jonathan, who's playing this game with me. And I don't know how to play. So after this, will you explain to me how to play Seven Wonders?
Oh my God, Reed, that's like
Yes.
how you play half your BGA games. You're like, I don't know how to play this game. I just click around.
I know.
Oh, God. Shout out if you would ever like to join our little mini BGA. We play a lot of games together. You can come beat us, or Becky can beat you, or Reed can just click around and you'll get a lot of easy wins. So,
Or you can just wait around for Angela to take her turns for a month.
Slay the Spire really ruining my life.
All of our lives, Angela.
Not mine.
Oh, man.
I'm just waiting for her to buy the board game. That's what I'm waiting for.
Then you could play with all of
Yeah,
us.
you
I
can-
think
That
that's a
addiction.
weird. I think that's a weird thing because if you didn't like it, you'd be irritated at having bought it.
It's actually very good. It's a very faithful adaptation.
Then why don't you own it?
Because I would get divorced. Because Becky would be like, "Get out of here, Gillian."
Okay, I don't think that's true, but I was going to say Gillian has really showed restraint with this game.
I
and
have.
I'm
I've
very
almost
proud of
bought
him.
it several times, and then I just keep holding out hope that Angela's gonna buy it.
You should, because then that way you can buy gold coins for your wife instead.
No, Becky needs to buy me
yeah.
gold coins.
Now I need to buy them.
Oh, okay.
For
So I'm always
Gillian's
the one that
birthday.
buys coins.
You guys are like little magical creatures. Spurred on by gold coins.
The reason why we have so many dragons in our house is because we are dragons.
Whoa.
That's true.
All right, we've delayed long enough. Two hobgoblins here trying to get the answer for number one out of me.
Just goblins. Thank you very much.
Only appearing on 3 lists, but with the clear number one, the highest point total
yeah.
on
Oh yeah.
the most highest ranks of the things is Gillian's number one, our number one collectively. Endeavor Deep Sea.
Oh yeah.
How is that not on 4 lists?
What a
Reed
great
didn't like it because
question.
it's submarines.
Was it too many boats, Reed?
Yeah.
There were a lot of boats. It was on my top 14.
Well, it's not top 10 though. Reed.
Was it number 14?
Let me check all the different
It
scribbles.
was number 14.
Well, now at one point on one of your lists, it was number 10.
Oh.
But then you changed a bunch of things.
Yeah, because you reminded me that Odin exists, and I had to make room for Odin, and that just shoved everything in.
That was like in list version 8 or something like that.
Of 16.
Okay, Odin was a good game, though. I struggled with that one. It did not make my top 10, but...
Yeah, still a really good game, I agree.
Strangely, the thing I didn't like about Odin were the card size. Card size is weird.
Yeah, I think that's what actually did push it over at the end to not be there. But that is not giving its flowers to Endeavor Deep Sea. I really love this game. It just won the Kenner Spiel, so I think other folks are going to get exposed to it and see it. The expansion's coming out. We did an entire episode on it that you can go back and listen to. For me, not a lot of heavier games made my list, which we'll talk about. But this was certainly one that I appreciated, that I loved. I love finding new pathways. I love discovering things. I absolutely enjoy that it continues our theme of boats, boats in space, boats in water. So much fun across the board.
Ships.
Ships.
I enjoyed this game so much. The thematic element of the game of just being a researcher, trying to improve your crew and promote them essentially, and trying to conserve the ocean was just a joy. I loved this game so much.
This wasn't your top game, Becky, because it doesn't have shiny cards.
It's not wrong.
No.
It was my number 4.
Also, Gillian, I love that the same reason that you kind of enjoy Endeavor Deep Sea is kind of why I like Kanban EV, because I like middle management. And you're like, anyway, science.
Yeah, it makes sense. Checks out.
Checks out.
Though it's not as depressing as Daybreak Science.
Yeah,
Oh.
Daybreak Science is sad.
Yeah.
More so the politics around it.
Man, way to bum us out for number 1, but I do have some fun facts about our top 10. 7 of the top 10 games were from Becky's list, but not her top or bottom. Only Becky's number 1, Kinfire Delve, Callus Lab, did not make the list. Everybody else's number 1 did. The average weight of each of our lists, are you ready? Gillian's list weighed in at 2.53 on the BGG scale. Becky at 2.19. Angela at 1.99, followed only by Reed at 1.98.
That was Captain Flip, I'm sure, putting that in there.
And Odin.
Yes,
No.
the heaviest game on all of our lists was from Gillian, SETI, ranked at 3.77, and Captain Flip came in at 1.19. There were only 3 games on our list of total that ranked in the BGG Top 100. Those games are Harmonies at number 74, SETI at 43, and Lord of the Rings Duel, which is on the BGG number 36. There were a number of orphan games that did not ever get enough points. Those include Odin, Nar, Let's Go to Japan, Isle of Cats Duel, Star Tycoon, Harmonies, Wormspan, Kinfire Delve, Torchlit, The Yellow House, SETI, Arcs, Saltfjord, Fishing, and Stonespine Architects. There were 5 different trick-taking games and 25 unique titles. Now, the top 5 games from BoardGameOfTheYear.org actually were number 1, Arcs, 2, SETI, 3, Lord of the Rings Duel, 4, Harmonies, and 5, Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire being the only one, as we have readily discussed, that nobody has caved and bought. Endeavor Deep Sea on the BoardGameOfTheYear.org list was actually ranked number 27. And all top 3 of our top 3 were only reflected in one person's list. That's mine. Haha, losers. If we were to re-rank the games and score only our top 5s and not the top 10, the list looks a little bit different. Number 1 would actually be Castle Combo. Number 2 would be Endeavor Deep Sea. Number 3, Lord of the Rings Duel. So our top 3 would have stayed the same. But number 4 would have been Kinfire Delve, followed by Daybreak and Trick and Snipers, followed by Torchlit, SETI, and the Gang in a tie, then Odin, Captain Flip, and Arcs, finally followed up by Nar, Creature Caravan, and Harmonies.
It's wild to me to think that Harmonies and SETI came out in the same year. Like, Harmonies we played so early on, and SETI we played very late in the year.
Yeah, well, SETI was the one that didn't really come into stock until late December of 2024. So that was that reasoning, I think.
There were lots of games that appeared on 2 people's list, which I found so interesting that half of our group were like, yay, and half of our group were like, it's fine.
Did you say that Castle Combo, or didn't you say the top 3 was the same, but Castle Combo was 1? Isn't Endeavor Deep Sea 1?
Well, if we had re-ranked and only counted the top 5, because it appeared on Reed and I's top 5, it would have scored more points than Endeavor Deep Sea.
So it wouldn't be the same.
Oh, got it.
Just
Yeah.
the same games appeared.
Same
They were
games.
different
Okay.
ranks.
Yeah,
Got
which
it.
really speaks to how you decide to score it. And so I just kind of used what we had scored for previous lists that we'd made. But I thought that was also interesting. If we submitted a top 5 instead of a top 10, our list would have looked similar, but kind of different.
I think my top 5 list would be different. I mean, I would probably submit it to you multiple times, but
Yeah.
having top 10 made me not have to decide between games as much. I was like, I know that this is somewhere between that 6 to 10.
I find your frivolous lack of detailed accounting for each point's value in game really caused chaos, while the rest of us thought very deeply about game number 8. You were like, whatever, it's fine.
How much did Reed's top 5 change from list to list?
I was like, is this it? She's like, no, wait, there's another one. And I was like, wait. And then I was scoring my list. I was like, did you know that Odin was on it?
Odin went into number 4, so it changed my top list for sure.
Okay.
But then it weirdly changed. Daybreak and the Gang were ranked differently. Like, the Gang was ahead of Daybreak in one list, and then the next list they flipped. And I was like, how did that happen?
Also, Lord of the Rings was number 4 on one of the lists that I submitted, so that probably would have made number 1, actually.
So it went from 4 to 14.
No, it was like 11.
You have to stop. You are a pure being of chaos.
Interesting.
Anyway, it went from 4 to 14.
11.
Whatever.
I'm a verbal processor, and apparently it happens when making board game
Girl,
ranking
you
lists
take
too.
so many pub meeples. You're always sending us, here's my updated pub meeple. Games that I thought of on a Thursday.
I love it. It brings me joy.
90% of them tend to be the same.
I read it and then I'm like, oh, this is probably outdated at this point.
All right, some follow-up questions. Anything surprise you about our lists?
Yes. Remember that one pod where I was like, oh my God, what if we all set Endeavor Deep Sea as our joy game? And
And Reed said no, and that's why it didn't appear on her list.
oh, you also said no, just to be fair. You're like, don't tell me what my joy is.
Becky, don't tell me what my joy
I
is.
know, exactly, just like that.
It was number 10 on that same.
It was. I scribbled it out.
I'm surprised that there weren't more overlaps for our top 10 games.
Yeah, I've only had 2 hits so far, and that was Endeavor Deep Sea and what was the other one? The Gang, I guess, that popped up on multiple lists.
I think I was surprised in ranking how few crunchy games appeared. You know, our chat thread with each other is called Crunchy Gamers. We tend to actually play a lot of heavier games, and I was just really shocked. Your list came in, like, I think my list would have come in maybe if it was last year. And so it felt really different that it was a lot of light games, trick-taking games, push your luck, and I don't know if that's a response to last year's crunchiness or just that this year's bigger games didn't resonate with me in the same way.
It was interesting. Becky made a comment when we were talking about it as we were each developing our list. She said, like, 2024 was like a year for you. And I was like, yeah, I would say so. Because SETI, Arcs, I really like both of those games. Creature Caravan came out. I loved that. And yeah, and so a lot of games that only appeared on my list, like, really resonated with me. Unfortunately, nobody else liked them as much.
Oh, sorry. SETI and Arcs were my number 11 and 12. And I was trying to decide if I pushed one up into 10 or not, but I had the Yellow House as my number 10 because I was pretty excited about that trick taker, and I'm really looking forward to teaching that to Angela and Reed, or you teaching them, either one.
Oh man, that game made me so mad the first game.
He was so mad. We had the rules wrong.
Because Becky was just benefiting from the rule being wrong like every round, and I couldn't do anything about it. And I was so frustrated. And then we played it right, and it was a much closer game. She still beat me, but it was much more enjoyable.
Everyone messes up a rule.
I'm surprised Nara wasn't on your list.
Nara wasn't last year, or 2024, was it?
It was 2024. Yeah, it came out
Oh.
in that weird piece. And in fact, Daybreak, I think technically the published date is 2023, but it was like really so close to 2024 that I just allowed it onto the list.
I actually checked BGG and saw that it said 2024.
It said 2023 when I checked it.
Oh, maybe I checked a different page. I don't know. I thought I vetted that because there were a lot of games that were on that top game of the year that were actually wrong.
I did really like NAR. I think to where Becky's point was, the game that I thought maybe should have been in there was SETI. And I think it would have benefited for some more plays. But when I was thinking about it and making the list, right, because my number 10 was kind of not a throwaway per se, but it was definitely a game that I'm enamored with right now that I don't know if in 6 months would be my number 10, and that was Stone Spine Architects. Because again, I'm really in love with a tableau builder that's fairly straightforward. You put the cards down, you get some stuff, and then off you go. So I kind of thought maybe that's where SETI should go, but then I just kept thinking about those aliens and how it slowed down the pace of the game. So I think the expansion actually may, as we've talked about, kind of help that, but I really did enjoy that game. I think I liked it more than Arcs for sure, even though I think a lot of people liked Arcs for 2024 in general, but I think SETI is maybe more of what ended up resonating with me.
Just in case someone did the math, I do need to correct that only 6 of my top 10 games were part of our collective top 10. You said 7, and I've been thinking about it this whole time, and I just got to make sure, like, if somebody did the math and they're like, well, actually, it was 6, not 7.
I love
I'm
that, Becky.
definitely wrong. Daybreak was 2023, but I did check somewhere and saw 2024, but I don't know where that was.
Reed, it is the
Reed-
least surprising thing. That
Reed
you got
probably
that
looked
wrong.
up the game Daytime and was like,
Whoa.
But I'm not the only person that had it on my list, so.
That's why we left it in. Games are really hard just when they're published, but versus when they're available. Was there a game published in 2024 that did not live up to the hype for you?
Yes, and I'm sad about this. I bought Cities and am not in love with it. I don't think it has a lot of replayability. I don't know when I would ever pick it over another game other than if I were trying to get people who had never played a board game before to enjoy some sort of more strategy or different mechanics. But it was my joy game like 3 podcasts in a row, and then we played it, and then I was like, ah.
Yeah, I felt really bad about Cities for You as well. It was a Devere game. I really loved Devere, the publisher. But when I played it, it was missing that little extra oomph. And then almost Foundations of Metropolis was a better city building game than Cities was. And if it didn't find a home with some of the lighter people you may play with, friends or family, then I was like, oh man, this game's going to end up on Reed's no-go list.
Yeah, except I sleeved it, and the sleeves were really tiny and really hard, and I'm like, I don't want to get rid of that game now that I've sleeved it.
I think you can just give away the $3 pack of sleeves, Reed.
It was my time. Okay.
Maybe you can sell it for an extra $1 or something.
An extra $3, Becky.
Okay, I'll give you $2 if you sell it.
That's like the time somebody gave me $5 to buy a game, and I didn't even need the $5, just the permission. A game that didn't resonate with me, and to be fair, I didn't think it was going to necessarily resonate with me, but I played it, was Fromage. Lots of little mini games, cute, like the theme, but it just didn't hit. I didn't love all of the little mini games. Nice to play. I don't love the BGA implementation of it. I think the board is really nice. So that game just kind of was an unfortunate miss.
I agree with you on Fromage. It looks good. The theme looks good. The board is interesting. How it spins and the mechanics of how you get your worker placement pieces back is really interesting. But being a game of mini games, there is not a lot of selection in some of the areas that makes an impact on how you win. The structures are a key component of it, where you spend all this time trying to build structures that give you better endgame points. And I've won that game so many times by just disregarding that piece. And I'm like, why is it even in there if it doesn't matter? And I feel like not all the mini games are enjoyable.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought that the game for 2024 that I was not going to be like, oh, this game is fine, is Undergrove. But the funny thing is, then we played it and I really liked the components. So just like Becky with shiny cards, I was like, these upgraded Kickstarter parts actually kind of are like, it's not terrible. I don't know if I'm ever going to play it again. I may trick some folks. I may just end up getting rid of it and taking a loss on the Kickstarter-ness of it, but I still really kind of like the production value.
I liked Undergrove. I would play it again.
Thanks, Gillian.
Yeah, welcome. I would say the game that didn't live up to the hype for me was actually Wormspan. I was so excited about Wormspan when it was announced because I liked Wingspan a lot. And it was dragon-themed Wingspan. And while I did enjoy some elements of the game elements that were added and tweaked, overall I felt like it just didn't jive with me, and I was ultimately disappointed. It just didn't live up to the hype that I had maybe just built up in my mind up until actually playing it.
That game made my list. I was like, I like Wormspan. Coin strategy, baby.
I like Wormspan. It's not in my top 10. I don't think it was in my top 20, but I own it, and I will happily play it with you.
Thanks.
Every 6 months.
You're the only one that owns it, so I actually have to borrow it from you.
I'll borrow it, not play it with you.
No, I don't.
Wow.
I will not win.
Okay, let's play.
Mine is also Wormspan. I felt like you all were hyped about it, and I thought, well, maybe. We'll see what they do.
I bought that game twice in 2024, and I think it's a good game. I think it's a really approachable, medium light game, and I think that a lot of people really like it. A lot of people, it was easier to grasp than Wingspan. We have recorded multiple episodes probably on Wormspan, but definitely not a disappointment for me.
No, I enjoyed it. And actually the game I thought you guys were going to say, which probably says more about Wormspan, is your initial feelings after we played Windmill Valley. It just didn't seem to vibe with you guys.
I thought about saying that, but I do enjoy that game, and it's still on my shelf. I would say I didn't have a lot of expectations going into it, though. I thought it was going to be a little bit better than it was, but I didn't build it up in my mind like I did Wormspan. So, and there was a lot of hype around Wormspan. And so then when it let me down, it was a bigger drop off than Windmill Valley.
I think Windmill Valley is a very interesting game to discuss as far as a disappointment, because I don't think any of us, Angela, you haven't played it, right?
I played it, yeah.
You played it. When I played with Gillian and Becky, and during the game, we really enjoyed it. We had a really good time, but then there were a lot of other games that were introduced around that time, and it didn't continue to like rise to the top of games that we wanted to play. But I enjoyed it. I didn't find it a disappointment at all. That it was neat.
I'm also surprised I didn't say that, but I'm going to be transparent and tell you that I did not write down an answer for that question, so I was panickedly looking through the 2024 games,
We
and
had
I was
to come to this pod prepared, Becky.
And I was thinking Windmill Valley was 2023, so yeah, I really love tulips, and so I was really excited about that game, and the windmills definitely look cool, but I think it's just a little bit lighter than what I want. And I think looking at my list and kind of reflecting on 2024 games, when there's a lighter game, I want it to be a trick taker.
Mm-hmm. Or a game that you don't care about the results for. And I think Windmill Valley isn't one of those. Like, you do,
Right.
You still do feel competitive and want a good strategy for it. It's not like the Captain Flip of the world where you're
Yep.
like, well, blew up, oh well, or the Mlem.
Oh, good.
Oh, mine wasn't poignant at all. I was just going to say it's like a Fisher Price version of Barrage or something like that. It's like a very light version of a crunchy game, and it doesn't feel like a light game. It feels like a light version. Why are you looking at me?
I
like
think
that?
that's a weird comparison.
A Fisher Price version of Barrage? I just was so stunned trying to
There's
process
a wheel on it.
And the water,
And
you
the
are
water.
just how much water is going through.
Strangely, it has better components than Barrage.
Worst
So that's a
gameplay,
burn.
but better components.
I forgot what I was going to say.
You were stunned by the...
I was stunned by the Fisher Price comparison.
Yeah, not kind of wrong, I guess.
She got there.
A game that I thought actually, some of the games for 2024, I thought I did a little bit of a disservice that I didn't play them enough. And so because of that, they fell to the bottom. One of those games was Saltfjord. I still want to really get back to that game. I think there's more to it. I think maybe, Becky, you were like, I wonder how much more there is, though, to this game. And so I kind of wanted to find out. So I find it hard for us to go back and play some of these games that we are just getting to because we're kind of always moving on to the next thing. But Saltfjord is one that I wish I'd given more attention to.
Yeah, Saltfjord did make my list. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. I think Becky and I played twice, just the two of us. And then I think we played once or twice with you two as well. And I enjoyed all the plays with it. I never really thought much about the longevity of the game, though. I felt like it did well in the 4 games we played. And so I don't currently have any concerns about the longevity of the game.
You crushed us, like really crushed us twice. And I wonder if that's part of like, oh, well, we're never going to be as good as Gillian at this game. So, I mean, that would go for like 99% of the games.
We would never play games again.
Yeah. It's just me and you in Castle Combo.
Heck yeah.
I like how Saltfjord looks. It's by the same people that did Revive. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I like that. It has similar feel to it. And Revive is one of my top 3 games probably of all time. So I would love to play Saltfjord again, but maybe don't win as bad as you did before.
You need
Or as
win
well?
as well as I did?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'll
Just
try.
don't like limit the crushing
Reed,
a little bit.
do better. I was just joking. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Sorry.
Gillian,
it
do
was
worse.
accurate. It's probably easier for me to do better than you to do worse. So, or not. I don't know. Okay, Angela cut all this.
Keep it in.
I did want to go back to Windmill Valley because one of the thoughts I just had is that the concern I have with Windmill Valley that is somewhat reminiscent of Kutna Hora is that there is a component that I think they meant to be fairly integral in the game that I felt like was just superfluous. And that is the water level changing that you do at the beginning of your turn, because that informs maybe the income that you can eventually get and so on and so forth. And I feel like they designed that to be integral, but it just felt so out of place, kind of like the mines in Kutnahora. And so I feel like that aspect of it knocks it down in my book a little bit.
I think when we played, Becky was the only one that used it, and I didn't even understand what she was doing.
Yeah, because it's also an end game trigger, because if you move the water level up, you're going to spin your wheel farther along, but then the game ends once somebody cycles their wheel 4 times. And so it speeds the game along, and there could be a game where somebody just is like, yeah, spin the wheel all over it, and then it's a really short game, and then you don't get to build an engine or put windmills out or anything. So it is like the end game is kind of player defined in a way. But that water level, I feel, feels off, I think, in the rest of the design.
And that could also just be us playing, because I was like, why would I want to speed the game up? I haven't done all the things I want to do yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So then I just was like, I refuse.
Well, but there are also the gears that can make it, that you can use to spin your wheel more or less. And so I actually feel like people were spinning their wheels faster than me, because I was like, how are you guys always ahead of me in each of the rounds? I'm trying to do everything that I want to do, and you guys are skipping things. So rude, first of all.
It's not my fault you weren't good at it, Becky.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, but it does bring up the question of, are we playing it correctly? And not in terms of rules, but just like, are we missing something in the strategy by not using it, or is it just a miss, like Gillian is saying?
Yeah. What about Kutnahora and the mines? Was that just our own issue?
No.
Man, sometimes I miss Kutnahora.
Yeah.
I think about her sometimes.
Funnily enough, I was at Fun Again with Charlie, and I mentioned, or he saw Kutnahora on the shelf, and he asked me if I played it. I said, yeah. I said, I didn't really like the mines. And he was like, oh, yeah, I didn't like them either. So it's not just us in the mines.
That actually makes me feel better, but I still miss how shiny that game is.
I liked all the like rainbowy colors.
Mm-hmm. It was really pretty.
Yeah.
I think there's still a copy on the used shelf.
It's a little banged up.
Yeah, but it's so expensive. People could not price that game for $50. They will not get their money. I have learned.
It's got time to market, Angela.
Thank you for listening to Board Game Homies, a top 10 podcast in my heart. Why don't you drop us a line on our Instagram, Blue Sky, or at Board Game Homies on Board Game Geek. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Board Game.
Does
Welcome
the red
to
light
Board
mean it's
Game Homies.
recording?
Yes, Becky, that's how the thing works.
Becky doesn't know how things work in this world. She is a gentle flower,
Aww, that's so sweet.
about to get crushed by the weight of gravity.
Aww.
Whoa.
You mean reality?
That too.
Dang. Okay, it's very dark. Let's start.